It's finally here, the last piece. Have you guys ever ordered the parts for a computer and then all of them show up except for one thing? Well, that's this, the Crucial Ballistics Gaming Memory, 3600 megahertz CL16. And the good news is, since I had all the other parts and I had an old computer, I've actually already built my PC and I'm just running it with my old memory. But we finally got the last piece, and I did do the build off the camera. I've posted this in comments and community posts, but my daughters, I have a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old, did want to help build the PC. And so we did that off camera, but I'm going to open the build up, put in the last part, take out the old memory, and I can talk to you about the parts, my thoughts on them, and the build process, so you can still see a lot of it. And let's just jump in and do it. Okay, the other reason why I didn't film the full build is I'm quite frankly not set up very well to film this type of video. So we'll do the best we can, hopefully things stay in focus. I don't have a camera guy. Like I said, we'll do the best we can. I've got some janky lighting set up so you can hopefully see this. This is the Fantex P600S case. Now, I did get some pushback on not buying one of the more popular cases, like the Fractal Design Torrent, or the Lian Li, the 011 Dynamic, all of that. Well, I loved building in this case. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Loved it. There's some things I like. This has this, as you can see here, this magnetic seal on the tempered glass, so that's nice and magnetic. Has the hinge, and then these can also just pop up and off, so you can fully remove that panel. The backside panel also is just on a magnetic hinge and comes off very easily as well. Now, one reason I wanted this case is it has a couple of things I'll actually show you, since we're kind of doing the build. Not the full build, but showing it off. So the top panel here, I don't know if I can get you guys a better angle at that. Let me see. So this, when some people saw me show this in my build plan video, they thought this was a solid case. These are for silence. So if I want to shoot a video and I want to kill as much fan noise as possible, I can actually take these off. These are magnetic again, so that's a magnetic seal, so it's on there solidly. Then it also has these little prongs that slot in here. And this pops off, and this is now a cloche meth that does seem even more breathable than one of the more metallic meshes, although I do wonder if maybe that makes cleaning and care a little bit more difficult. So that's on that end, and it has the same thing on the front panel. So the front, this is the front panel. I have this angled up now. Now this has your in-out, which I like that it can cover up if you're not using it and looks sleek. Has a couple of USB 3.0s, and then we also have a USB Type-C. Make sure your motherboard actually has the right header for that. And that's one reason I selected the motherboard that I did. All right, now this pops off. Again, that is magnetic. And then it pops off and has this mesh panel for, again, excellent airflow. So usually when I'm gaming, this is going to be off. But if for some reason I'm filming a video where I want things to be quiet, not have fan noise in the background, I like the ability to pop these on. Plus, I actually like the look of this case, and that's just a personal preference thing. Okay, so like I said, the back panel as well also has this hinge. It has this nice little cloth tab that's magnetic, and that's where your cable management and everything routes through as well. So this was an absolutely just dream to build in. I've always used either low or mid-range cases. I would consider this a high-end case. It was absolutely fantastic. Even the packaging it shipped in was amazing, and it had some really thoughtful touches. Like, for example, all of the components, all of the little, like, screws and things came in this nice little toolbox. I've had cases where they just come in little plastic wrappers. No, these were nicely sorted into a toolbox. And the case manual even told you, the exact layout of the toolbox and which screws and everything are in the places in the tool set. So, I really think this is a fantastic case. I don't have other top-end cases to directly compare the thermals myself, but compared to my old case, which admittedly had pretty bad airflow, I haven't thoroughly tested the temperatures in here, but I can tell you that they were instantly better than my old case. and that was even running a a lower end and less wattage build. So very happy with the case. Let's go ahead and open this thing back up. As far as the parts go, so we've got the Radeon RX 6800 XT. I already had this, and this main build was to go around that. And one reason why I picked the 5950X, which is the CPU that this is cooling, is because I want to use this for video editing and rendering. If it was just for gaming, I would have heavily considered just going with a 5900X or even a 5800X, because this is probably a little bit overkill, and especially buying at this late point where, the 3D cache version, or whatever it's called, 3D V cache of Ryzen's are coming out soon, and Intel's next-gen processors are coming out soon, and they'll probably eclipse this in single-core performance. In multi-core performance for video editing, I'm not worried about this suddenly not getting the job done. And the little bit of video I've edited already on my old RAM, oh god, it was just night and day difference in DaVinci Resolve. It was so buttery smooth. So expect more editing on my videos, maybe. No promises. I'm still shooting the videos on this channel in extremely limited free time. All right. So here's the old RAM. Let's go ahead and pop that out. I forgot my Livestrong bracelet, guys. I'm not too worried about static discharge. I do try to touch some grounded metal over, somewhere. Or at least say I did. Okay. So here's the old RAM. Nothing particularly wrong with it. It's 3000, where am I in the camera here? It's 3000 megahertz CL16, and it's 16 gigabytes. This is the Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro. It has the nice little lights, but as you probably are noticing with this build, this is a no RGB build. Well, I mean, technically the GPU has a tiny little RGB indicator here, and then I think it's a little bit of orange lights on the motherboard here. But that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and find where I put my RAM. Where's my new RAM? Do I have to do an unboxing video? All right. Short version of the unboxing video. Okay. So I was going with not just no RGB, but we're also going with a kind of a black and gray theme. So the Crucial Ballistics not only is fantastic RAM, but it matches the aesthetics of my build. This is two 16 gigabyte chips of 3600 megahertz. Can I get this thing to actually focus on the RAM, please? Of 3600 megahertz CL16. I was originally going to cheap out a bit on the RAM, but you guys told me don't do that on Ryzen. And I mean, you're right, but the thing is, I'm not planning on being CPU limited on my 4K gaming. But for testing purposes, when I'm testing out other, 1080p or 1440p gaming, I suppose if I'm spending this much, we might as well go even more over budget, right? I feel like that's the sunk cost fallacy, though, guys. Like, I wanted this to be a high-end build, but the main reason I was splurging on the 5950X isn't because I just want to overspend on things. It's because I wanted to edit videos, okay? So I wasn't trying to just overspend. That's another reason why this is 32 gigabytes. For video editing, 64 gigabytes could be even better, but I have left myself room to slot in another matching 32 gigabyte set of sticks here if I feel like I'm limited by the 32 gigabytes. Once I generate some more ad revenue, or hey, you guys could hit the join button on my channel, buy things through my Amazon affiliate links, all of that. Buy me some more RAM. Okay, so some of you guys might be thinking, hey, that cooler looks awesome, because I think it looks awesome. So this is an Arctic Freezer 2, the 360 millimeter version. And notice it's no RGB. We got the black on here. This was my first AIO install. I've always done air cooling in the past, and it fit this case perfectly, and I was able to install it myself first time with no real trouble. It was really easy. They have, videos on exactly how to do the installation. If you know anything about this, you know that they have an offset mount. This did come with the offset that supposedly cools the Ryzen 5000 series processors, a little better than the standard mount, and this does have that, and I did it that way. It was not complicated, like I said. They have a YouTube video on their own channel that explains how to do that. Now, I haven't added any other case fans, but the case itself came with a nice big fan here, and another fan. I don't know if you can see it at the angle. It's got two fans here. And you know what? Off the top of my head, I don't even know how big they are, but you know, they're that big. Now, one thing I've got to say about this is I think I could improve the cooling here a little bit if it wasn't what I'm assuming. I think this is going to be what's called, what is it, negative pressure, where I think I have more air blowing out because of the triple radiator here, and then this back one, with only the 2 intake fans. So there's more air blowing out than in, which I think is theoretically not as good for cooling as if I had more air blowing in than out. So it's something I could maybe look at improving in the future, but for now it already cools better than my last case, and I'm not too worried about it. So a lot of people were like, Superflower, what is that? Superflower makes extremely good power supplies. And a lot of the highest rated power supplies made by other manufacturers like EVGA are actually manufactured by Superflower. So this is not a no-name. I didn't cheap out on a no-name power supply. This is a good one. I did my research, okay? So this is a Gen 4 SSD. I did go ahead and get the, it's covered by the heatsink here on the motherboard, but that is a Samsung 980 Pro. And then actually hiding underneath this GPU is another M.2. This is a 1 terabyte Gen 4 SSD. I've got a 970, that's a nice Gen 3 SSD, hiding under here in the other M.2 slot. And that's ported over from my old build, so that had a lot of my games already installed in it, some of my videos and things like that. I might have to get some more storage in here just to store all the videos that I do, or maybe I could get a big external, like 12 gigabyte thing or something like that. We'll see what I do. What else is there to talk about? I mean, there's the motherboard. So I chose one specifically that had the right header. I think it's right here. To plug into that USB Type-C that I showed you in the front. Not every motherboard has the right header for the Gen 2 USB Type-C or whatever it's called. So this does have that in there. And that was definitely something that I needed. Now I will say that this didn't seem to have a whole lot of case fans headers. And I also wasn't a huge fan of the placement of this one here. But I was able to get the case fan plug to run right here to there. If it had been near the edge of the board, I feel like I wouldn't have to have this stupid cable running right here, which I don't really like, but you can see that I kind of tucked it against this, so it kind of just runs along there, and I don't think you were even noticing it until I pointed it out, right? Also, I feel like these stupid little dongles, like this is these split power supply cables. They kind of look bad. I could maybe route actually this way instead. This was probably the dumb way to get there, but I got there. If I came through the front, the downside there is it blocks the RGB here, but I kind of just want to turn off the RGB thing anyway. I could obviously always buy like nice cable extensions that are, you know, colored nicely and everything, but to be honest, I probably won't. I think this looks pretty good. It's got my or at least minimal RGB aesthetic going with all the black. And the important thing is the performance has already been phenomenal trying it out on the old RAM, and I'm hoping it's even better on this Crucial Ballistics set here. If you it's possible that I forgot. I'm just kind of shooting this video off the top of my head with no script. I wanted to show off the build. If you have questions about things, feel free to pop them in the comments section, and I'll post a link to all the parts in the description if you're interested in taking a look at them over there. All right, I'm going to plug this thing in and hope it turns on with the new RAM, because if it doesn't, at least we know what the problem is, since it worked with the old RAM. All right, care to join me for the moment of truth? It's lighting up. Do we post? I'm going to mash the delete key because I want to get into the BIOS and set my RAM timings. Come on. The graphics card lit up. The fans are spinning. And there it is. And I'm in here. So I'll just leave you guys on the end note of make sure when you buy expensive RAM that you actually activate its fast speeds in your BIOS. Have an excellent day.